Hey guys, Zach here with Minimalist Escapes, and today I'm going to be bringing you a build in this small sort of glass jar. I really like the way that it looks. It's really neat. It's got these flat sides and then it's rounded on the other sides, and it can sit either upright like this or on its side. But I figured I'd use this and try to make a terrarium, and it's got this little small opening right at the front, so with that, I should be able to keep the humidity up in this, unlike some of my other builds, which means I'm going to be able to keep more aquatic plants that are going to be growing much more immersed, sort of, in this. So I'm really excited. Let's get right into it. So, first things first is I want to establish a substrate layer in this terrarium, and for that, I'm just going to use the standard aqua soil. For this terrarium, because I'm planning on keeping it very humid and sort of moist, and there might even be a little bit of water in the bottom, I want to use aqua soil just because I know it's going to be better at going through that sort of wet-dry without developing anything. Because sometimes with topsoil you can run into the problem of it might grow fungus or mold or anything of the sort that can come in the topsoil if it's not either fully submerged or dry. But with aqua soil, I don't run into that problem, so I'm going to go with that. To actually get it in, instead of just having it on its side like this, I'm just going to tip it up, and I'll dump it in the top and then just angle it and see how much it takes until it's at a good level with a nice slope towards the back of the terrarium. With the aqua soil in, I want to get the sand on top, just sort of to cap it and so that it'll blend better when I put in the hardscape. And in order to do that with the soil like this, I don't want to disturb it, so I'm just going to use just a kitchen spoon, and I'm just going to put the sand on it and dump it in, and it should be pretty easy. Now, continuing on, I don't want to put any more substrate in the back until I get the hardscape on, but you can see that there's really not too big of a layer of sand, and that's because I'm not going to have anything like shrimp or cories or anything in the bottom of this to sort of sift through it. It's going to be a terrarium, so I might have isopods and springtails in here, and that would be it. Probably just springtails, so I'm not too worried about the depth of the sand. But moving on to hardscape, all I'm going to use in here is just going to be some black lava rock. This rock is much more porous than a lot of other rocks, so I know that it's going to retain more moisture, which means that the plants are probably going to have a little bit easier time if I do miss spraying them, or if for whatever reason it just doesn't get watered enough. The rock should retain some of that water and keep the plants. So with the hardscape, I want to try to create a sort of upward slope with a kind of rocky mountain feeling to it. So I'm going to place these in the front like this, and then when I move on to the layer that's behind it, I'm going to backfill with more sand, and that should create that sort of effect of going up steeply. Now the hardscape is sort of blocked out. It's just going to come down to adding in some smaller detail pieces. And for that, I've got these over here. These are just chunks that I broke up with a hammer from other lava rocks. And then I've also got some small sticks that I'm going to use to embellish the scape before I plant. Now with pretty much the entire scaping portion done, all that I really have left to do is going to be getting some plants in there. I'm going to be using pretty much only aquatic plants, and I'm going to try and use ones that I know do well in a immersed setting. Something like Hydrocotyle tripartita does really well immersed, so I'm going to use stuff sort of similar to that. But before I do plant, I just want to give this a quick spray, and then I'll get all the plants in. Now with planting complete, I just want to give it one more good spray down, and then I'll show you guys the final product. With all the planting done, I would say that this terrarium is complete. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It turned out a lot better than I thought it would, and it's got its own sort of uniqueness to it, its own sort of feel, and I think it's going to go great right beside my Mini Moss Mountain there, and the plant should really take. I've grown all of these plants immersed before, so I know they're going to be able to do it. But if you guys did enjoy this video and you found it helpful, or maybe it gives you inspiration to try something like this, then please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.